So, Daniel, could you start by giving our viewers a short introduction about yourself?
Yeah, I am Daniel SnC from Resistance, and I've been around for a while, since the early days in the 80s. Yeah, I do graphic design, and I've done a lot of different things as well, both related to the demo scene and to other things in real life. So yeah, that's me.
Yeah. Do you remember when you first got interested in computers?
My first computer.
When you got interested in them?
Oh, when I got interested. Yeah, I mean, it was basically in the, I think, early 80s where, we went to the burger joints and played arcade games and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I spent a lot of my mother's coins from her piggy bank to play arcade games. And she basically got so fed up with it that she bought me my first computer, which was a Commodore 16. With a data set and all that. So yeah, that's where it all began, basically, with the Commodore 16.
So the 16, how did you like that computer?
I mean, it was pretty basic when I got it. It was pretty far away from what you would play on arcade machines. So graphic wise, it was very chunky stuff. And yeah, for the time, it was cool that you could play at home, but the games were not at all like on the arcade machines. And yeah, it was a chunky boy. I tried to program my own game on it. You could buy these books, which were full of weird signs and ASCII codes and stuff. So you had to put all that code into BASIC. And then when you were done, you could run it, and it was just super shitty games.
Yeah.
that you could type off these books. So yeah, eventually after that, I got a Commodore 64, where the graphics were a bit better and the sound was a bit better and all that. So, but yeah, my basic interest came from the arcade games back in the day, because that's all we had available then.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's where it started.
Yeah. What was the computer culture like in Denmark when you were growing up?
I mean, it was not really many. There weren't many kids who had computers, and there weren't many kids who were interested in it. I think it came with the Amiga, really.
Yeah.
When more kids got an Amiga at home and the graphics and sounds were a bit better. But again, even with the Amiga, it was not that many kids in my neighborhood, at least, who had an Amiga. So we were like, I think, between 5 or 7 kids who had one.
I find it weird that not more people had the C64.
Yeah, there were a few, but not that many where I came from. So, and we didn't have internet back then and stuff. So I didn't know many kids from outside of my neighborhood, really, because it was just super difficult getting around and stuff. It was different than today, So
yeah, sure.
And there were like, I think we were maybe 4 kids who had a Commodore 64 that I knew of, and some of them had a Commodore 128.
Yeah.
So yeah, and they also had disk drives and stuff. Where with my Commodore 64, I only had a data set.
Yeah.
So I wasn't even much into stuff like piracy and all that stuff. I didn't really know much about it back then with my Commodore 64. But some of my friends, they had, a ton of diskettes with copied games and stuff, and I found that quite intriguing. But my mom didn't want to get me a disk drive because it was super expensive.
Yeah, they were really expensive back then.
Yeah, so I was just happy having my Commodore 64 with the data set and just being able to play R-Type on it and Ghosts and Goblins and all that stuff. So yeah, with my Commodore 64, I wasn't even really aware of the cracking scene and the demo scene and all that stuff. So it was all very new to me, and I was just happy that I could get these games that somehow looked like something from the arcades. And yeah.
How did you first discover the demo scene at all?
Well, that's a funny story, because I got my Amiga and finally I got diskettes and all that stuff, and I found a guy through something called Temploavis, which is kind of like, it was I can't remember if it was monthly. I think it was a monthly newspaper you could buy, where you could find, it's kind of like eBay, just in paper form. So I found a guy on Sealand called Midnight Maniac from Trilogy, and he was selling these monthly packets of new games that were copied,
Yeah.
So and of course I didn't have a job back then. I was still a kid, and I told my mom, look, we can get all these games monthly for a small fee, and I wrote to this Midnight Maniac, and he sent me a package, and I started to see all these cracked throws and stuff, and I was like, holy shit. So I started talking to him, and found out that he was in a group called Trilogy, who were cracking games and spreading them and whatnot. And that really triggered me to wanting to be a part of that, because I thought it was super cool,
Yeah, of course.
So yeah, that's basically how I got into that. I even asked him if I could join Trilogy, and he was like, he didn't know, because they had people enough. And shortly after, Trilogy merged with Paradox, or how that worked. And yeah, but from there I started going into Deluxe Paint and doing logos and stuff like that. I just had a keen interest for it. I thought it was super cool, and that was driving me to start working on it. So yeah, and I think the first group I joined was this Brainwave. I can't remember how I got into that, but I think it was one of their demos or whatever. I saw an address you could write to, and I just wrote them and said, hey, do you need a graphic artist? And yeah, I made some stuff for them and got in the group, and was there for a really short time. So yeah, that's how I got into it. I just thought it was super cool through the crack throws, that's where that's the first.
Yeah, same for me.
Yeah, it was super awesome. It was really nice.
Yeah, you had a few nicknames over the years.
Yeah.
Why the nick changes? Are they different time periods, or?
Yeah, I think my first nickname was Crypto, right? For the time being, I probably just thought that sounds cool, and I was also doing a bit of swapping. I swapped a lot with a lot of people, so I think it's also connected to that a bit. And then later on, I changed it to Dune. I don't know why. It just sounded better. I feel a bit more mature, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
So there's no real reason why I did that. It's probably just because I grew tired of the former nickname and then decided to change. So yeah.
But why the last one? What does it mean?
It's a long story, because back in, I think it was in must have been in 98 or something, I was doing some hip hop with two friends. So we had a friend who could rap, and we had a friend who could DJ and scratch and stuff, and I was like producing the beats for it. And they just felt I was so fast at doing whatever I did that they started calling me Sonic. And it's not so much because of the game Sonic, it was because of a track by a group called Gravediggers, where they said something like fast like Sonic or something like that. So they just started calling me that. And I was like, yeah, okay, I can go with that. But I was also like, I don't want to be connected to a video game character.
Yeah.
So I just shortened it down to SnC, and then I figured out if you say it really fast, like SnC,
Yeah.
it could be kind of cool, So
Yeah.
so yeah, it's just that. It's basically just that. So it started in the hip hop scene back in the 90s, and yeah, I've just kept it since.
Yeah, that's a good story. Yeah. What did joining your first group feel like?
I mean, it's really hard to remember because it's so many years ago. Yeah, but
Did it feel like an accomplishment, or?
Yeah, you could say that. And getting your first graphic in a demo and stuff like that, that was super cool. It was really, I was really looking up to these Trilogy Paradox guys and all these other really Cortex and all these bigger groups back then. So it definitely felt like an accomplishment to be part of that. And yeah, it just felt like being part of a bigger thing, right? So and also that not so many people knew about it. It was pretty underground and stuff, and I really liked that. So it was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Really cool.
What skills did the Demoscene teach you that school never did?
Oh. Well, okay, so the Demoscene taught me a lot about working with limitations and being restricted on so and so many colors and such things. Like you don't have many colors to work with, and you don't have many kilobytes to work with. So really restrictions, which I feel it really makes you more creative in a way, because you have to think more about things you are doing. So and if you really try to squeeze a lot through a tiny hole, it really makes you think, how do I do this the best way and make it the best thing? So I must say that's probably the biggest part it taught me. And also like thinking out of the box and how can I, make things look great, even though behind the scenes it's super simple. Like you can really do some nice effects and stuff using simple tricks.
Yeah.
So I think that taught me a lot that I still use it today in my current job. So yeah.
In the early days, were you more interested in graphics, code, music, or the social side? If there was a social side.
I mean, I guess in the end, it's a community, right? Like, I had, back in the day before the internet, I had a lot of contacts that I swapped with, and it was always fun getting packages and letters and small notes here and there. So that was super duper cool, the community of it. And that, I think the community was really a big thing of the entire demo scene, that you knew so many people and you were all together in this underground kind of thing. Of course, the graphics was equally big for me, something I was super interested in since, kindergarten, basically. But without the community, it wouldn't have been the same, I think, because I remember when the PC started taking over, and the Amiga scene started fading out or going over to PC, I was kind of pissed off about that, actually, because all of a sudden my contacts, they just stopped sending diskettes and letters and stuff, and everybody, I don't know, it's like a period of time where it seemed the entire scene was just dying or gone. And I was super stubborn. I didn't want to switch to PC, but I think it was in 98 where I finally got a PC with Windows 98, and I was like, okay, the Amiga scene is dead, kind of, because I never heard from anyone anymore, and it was a sad day.
Yeah, I bet. I didn't get my first PC until 2001. I was that stubborn, so.
Yeah. But again, Yeah, I love my Amiga, and I still do, but everybody was just gone all of a sudden. It felt like day to day, everybody was just gone. So
Yeah.
there was no swapping anymore. There was no new productions coming out, and yeah, it just felt so weird.
Yeah.
Super annoying.
It felt dead.
Yeah, absolutely. It felt like somebody just died, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
So that was a difficult time for me in a way, because you know I was so used to this community and having all these friends, and all of a sudden they were just gone, and it felt so weird. And that's
Yeah.
also, I didn't have internet back then either, so I couldn't
Mm.
reach out to anyone in that way. So yeah.
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 Yeah. You were active in several groups over the years. How different were those groups? Anyone better than the other? And yeah, how different were them?
Yeah, I mean, I've been more productive in some than others. I think I've been super productive in this group I joined after Brainwave called Success. And we went to the party 91 together, where we were working on a new demo group called Curacy.
Mm.
I did some graphics for that, and our coders were doing some programming and stuff. But the main coder, Spacey, shortly after the party in Denmark, he kind of left the group and he lost interest. And yeah, so I went on from there, and I never really got to do anything big with Curacy, but it was people I knew in my
Mm.
personal life and worked a lot with in Success. But I think I can't remember, but I think after Curacy, I went to Triflex,
Mm.
because I went to a school where I met this guy who had this group called Triflex. He had several Commodore 64 groups as well, and he was on the same level as me and totally into the demo scene and skateboarding and all that stuff, you know.
Yeah.
So we spent a lot of time together making all sorts of things, and that was super cool. We did a few demos and intros together, and that was fun. But then, like, I remember, especially with tech, I was in tech at some point, and there I was mostly doing, you know, these compilation diskettes with different intros and stuff, and doing swapping for them and stuff like that. So yeah, with that, I wasn't so productive on the graphic front, but it was still just more packing and swapping and stuff like that. So in that way, it was very different.
Yeah. You disappeared for a while and then returned to the scene. What pulled you back?
Yeah, I mean, basically, you know, after the entire Amiga PC transition happened, I was a bit lost in a way on the demo scene, because not much happened, and I was busy with school and partying and all that stuff. So at some point, I got to a new school where I met a programmer, and he was super good at coding. So I was like, hey, don't you think do you know about the demo scene? And of course he didn't. I said, oh, but you know, you can code these small effects, and I can do some graphics and stuff, and we can bang it together, and we can do some intros together just for fun, you know. And he was like, oh, that sounds great. So I met also a guy, because I was doing some business on one of these FXP boards, if you know about those. There was a board called Team Sweden, I think. And there was a guy from Ram Jam in there, actually, also active. He's a musician, Twilek, he's called. And I talked a lot to him on that board and stuff, and he was like, oh yeah, he's in Ram Jam and he's doing music. And I said, oh, sounds fun, because I was in the demo scene before, many years ago as well, on the Amiga. And he was like, oh, that's cool. So I told him I met this coder guy, and if we could do something together under the Ram Jam label,
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, sounds cool. We can ask the leader if he's okay with it. And we talked to him a lot, and he thought it was cool. So we did one demo for Ram Jam, with Twilik doing music, me doing graphics, and this Flyke, he was called my friend there. He did the coding. So yeah, we did that, but somehow it never ended up on Puet or anything. Apparently, I can't find it anywhere. I have it locally on my PC, but it's not, somehow it's not official, you could say. It's somehow not released to the masses.
It should be.
It should be, right? So maybe I should find it and upload it.
You should definitely upload it for at least historical purposes.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's Flyke's first demo, so it is a bit rough around the edges, but
yeah, sure, but still.
But it works, and yeah.
Talking about that, which demo that you worked on are you personally most proud of?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yes, it is.
That's a good question. So, that's a really good question. I think proud of, yeah, I don't know. We've done some things for Resistance that is super duper cool with FRA coding and all that stuff, and we've done some really amazing things. But I will also say the hardcore Flash demo I did was super fun to do because I just had completely free hands.
Yeah, you did everything.
Yeah, I did everything. Yeah, except the music. But that was super fun to do as well, just as a personal achievement kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I can say I'm proud of it, but I'm pretty happy with it.
Yeah, it might be the demo that means the most to you, since you did everything or except the music.
Yeah, you could say that, I guess. You could say that. Yeah. But overall, I'm really happy with everything I've been in. So yeah.
Good. What advice would you give to a teenager discovering the Demoscene today?
Don't use AI. Learn it the hard way. Learn it the hard way, because even though it's super hard and difficult to understand some of it, you really benefit from it in the long run.
Yeah, and it's an achievement, and you get that good fuzzy feeling when you learn something.
Yeah, exactly, and you will grow a skill set that not many people will have, and you will also grow this understanding of how to work with limitations and have patience and never give up and all that stuff. So yeah, my advice is don't use AI. It's just another talk.
Yeah. Okay. Your all-time favorite demos, any platform goes.
Yeah. Okay. I think stuff like Hardwired by Silence is probably some of the most impressive for the time, at least, right? Yeah, I think Hardwired.
Yeah,
I love that one. And also, of course, like Ring-a-Dink by Lemon, right? It's really good stuff. Really good stuff. Really impressive. But I mean, there's so many impressive demos.
Oh, there are
being released now, and also have been released back in the day. It's so impressive what people can squeeze out of this old hardware. It's amazing.
Definitely. Okay, over to the work part. Have you ever gotten a job because of your demo or scene connection?
Not because of connections, no.
Okay.
I haven't. I've met a few who has been in the demo scene and who still are at different jobs, but I wouldn't say that I have gotten a job because of the demo scene. So no, I can't say that. I can't say that.
Which scene skills transfer best to professional work? Design, coding, problem solving, deadlines, or collaboration?
I'll say all of them. All of them, really. Because all of them, really. Because I think if you just look at the coders from Silence and stuff, right? They are working in the game business now, and I guess many others are as well, right?
Exactly.
The same with 3D designers and graphic designers and stuff like that, and musicians like Kurt Belle and all those.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think all those skills can transition into real work if you find the right job, of course. So yeah.
So basically, do you think the Demoscene was effectively a free education?
In a way, yeah. I mean, in the Demoscene, you get to do stuff that you like and that you're passionate about, and you learn a lot of things that school doesn't teach you at all.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's the Demoscene is a big playground basically where you can just do whatever you like, right? So I think that's important in a way, that you get to play to learn, because the more you play with things, the more you learn in your own way, and it feels good, and you're passionate about it. And I think passion is really important to learn things.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because if you don't care for it, it's really hard to learn, I guess. So
yeah, well, I know.
It's like if you have to learn a new language just because you have to use it somewhere, but you don't really feel like it. It's super difficult, right? So yeah.
Okay, over to your favorite question. At one point, you worked for a company that distributed pornography and sex toys.
Well,
although your role was web and digital work, how did you end up there and in a different country?
Yeah, that's also a fun story.
Yeah, give it to me.
So the thing is, my wife, she was studying in Germany, and she couldn't move to Denmark because of visas and whatnots. So I moved down to her to be with her, and in the job I had at the time, I was working for a computer company in Denmark, and I was working from home already then. So I could work, from home in Germany as well. But the guy who ran the company, he was a bit stingy with, salary raises and stuff like that. So, and he was also a bit unorganized. And even though I liked what I did, I didn't care so much for my boss back then, especially after 13 years. I worked there for 13 years at his company there. So I was just growing super tired of it. So I tried just for fun to send out applications in the city where I lived in. I sent applications to, I think, 5 different companies. And interestingly enough, they were super keen on hiring Danish people for some reason. So I got, I think, 3 job offers. One was at a German newspaper. Then one was at somebody doing ships or something like that. Yeah, and then the last one was at that company you speak about.
Yeah.
And I was like, what could be the most interesting? Who's paying most and all that stuff,
Yeah.
So I ended up there, went to a job interview. They were super fascinated with everything I did, and they needed a graphic designer for their e-commerce. What's it called? Yeah, the e-commerce department. So I had to sit in and program the CMS website, and I had to program their newsletters and do web banners and all that, e-commerce stuff. So I got hired in there, and I thought, this is interesting. Why not, But I have to say, after 2 years, I had seen enough, and I was like, this is not as cool as the computer world and all that. Even though it was a normal office environment and all that, but the products they sold and stuff. It was just like didn't care for it in the end. I was like, okay, you've seen it all now, you know.
Yeah. People are probably going to have assumptions about how it is, but was it just like working for any other company?
Yeah. It was just a normal office environment. There was no naked women running around or anything like that. It was just a really sterile, normal office environment, you know, where we had a ton of work and a ton of meetings about things, and so it was pretty standard, except for the products that they sold, you know. And but they also did their own product development and product design and stuff like that. So, but I wasn't involved in that. I just did the e-commerce stuff. So graphics and coding. But interesting enough, I met a woman there who is in Oxyron. She is the wife of the leader of Oxyron. So that was super funny. So I met a Demoscene there, and she was like, "Oh, hey, come on over and let's have some beers and all that."
That's wow.
Yeah, that was funny. So they lived in the same town, and the guy, I can't remember his name, but at least he was leader of Oxyron, and I think he still is, probably.
Yeah, probably.
So that was a super funny coincidence to meet her there and have her talk about the Demoscene and stuff. I was like, oh, this is cool.
Yeah. Did friends find it funny when they heard where you were working?
I mean, I don't know.
Or did you not tell them?
No, I can't remember how we got to meet. I think I had some of my Demoscene graphics. I had them put up on the wall behind my desk because everybody was putting their own shit on the walls and posters and stuff. So I just printed some of my logos and stuff and put them up on the wall. And somehow somebody noticed and talked to her and said, "Oh, there's a Demoscener sitting down there. You want to talk to him?" And then somehow we connected through that. In a weird way.
Yeah. Today you work for Lego. That's quite a journey from helping sell toys to adults to helping with toys for children.
Yeah. That's quite a difference. Yeah.
It's just like mind blowing to me. You couldn't think of this as like from one thing to the other. But I'm guessing you're really enjoying this new job.
Absolutely. Yeah, because, like I say, I've been drawing since kindergarten, basically, right? And I just kept pursuing that dream. Basically, when I played Bubble Bobble the first time in the Cades, I was like, holy shit, I want to do this. I want to, either make games or character design or stuff like that. So all the marketing stuff I did in between was kind of like to get the papers, to get the graduation as a graphic designer and stuff like that. And it's not easy getting in at Lego. So I applied there several times as a character designer, but they hire from the entire world. They take people in from the entire world, so there's really stiff competition there.
I'll bet.
So while I worked in Germany, I was like, I'm actually quite tired of this e-commerce stuff because it's just marketing. You're just selling sometimes shitty products. You have to make them look pretty and say, oh, this is the best ever and whatever. And it feels like lying all the time, So I was like, I don't care so much for it anymore. I want to try and pursue the character design stuff again and drawing and illustrating and all that. So I applied at Lego and sent them a portfolio of some of the graphics I've done and some of the character designs I've done and stuff like that. And then they invited me for an interview in a workshop. Which is also quite intense. You have to be there an entire day and draw for them and show them what you got and stuff like that. And then thankfully I got hired. So I'm sitting now and doing character design for them and sticker designs and basically product design, right? So, so all the decorations on the models and all the minifigures and the stickers you put on the models, it's me doing that.
Sounds like you're in a really good place now.
Yeah, I'm super happy with it. Really super happy with it. It's really challenging and it's fun, and I have so many amazing colleagues who are super skilled as well. So I really feel at home in that role, that I'm among like-minded, and everybody is super nerdy as well. So
yeah. Have you met any demosceners there?
I know there are a few, but I didn't meet them yet.
That you should do.
Yeah, I'm trying, but I think they are sitting in different departments. They are more in digital development and stuff like that. So yeah, but I know actually one from Resistance told me that he knows two of his old friends. They are working out there as well. So yeah, but it's also cool because many people out there still have an Amiga and stuff like that. So yeah, we are just a bunch of nerds out there, really.
Yeah. Okay, over to the ending part. This was fun. Do you think the internet has changed creativity for the better or worse?
What, the internet, or?
Yeah. Has it changed creativity for better or worse?
It's a good question. It's a good question, because on one hand, it has probably changed it to the better, because you can influence people easier and you can get inspiration easier, and it's easier to share your stuff with other people, and it's easier to meet people who have the same interest as you. But on the other hand, there's also a lot of stealing going on and copying and stuff like that. So sometimes there's a lot of the samey stuff going around, where before it was everything was unique, because people couldn't talk directly to each other like that all the time. So yeah, it's both good and bad. I mean, I guess we're all happy the internet's here now, so we can easily reach out to each other and quickly, send graphics forth and back, or music or code, and you can quickly give some feedback to whatever we are working on and all that stuff. So it's not a bad thing. It's just not everybody who should maybe allowed to use it.
It's easy to abuse it.
It is. Yeah. There's a lot of it's like the Wild West on the internet, right? Everything about viruses and hackers and this and that. So yeah, I sometimes I feel like some people need a driver's license to use the internet, right? Because if you see what the common man is posting on like Facebook and stuff like that, I sometimes cringe and think the internet wasn't intended for you, But here we are. It's the Wild West, and you just have to navigate the best you can around all the dangers and stupid people and all that.
Exactly. What are your thoughts on AI?
Oh man. I mean, I think personally, it's I'm impressed with what they can do with it. I'm impressed with what it's capable of. I mean, no doubt, the engineers and all that who worked on this and made this, they made an impressive product in a way, right?
Yeah.
So, but again, like if you have been on IRC, right? These like ChatGPT and stuff, it reminds me a bit of like bots in IRC.
And
of course, it's a bit more advanced, but back then you could also get IRC bots which could reply you, and not as advanced as now, but it's kind of like the same, right? Like you put something in and it reads what you says, and it finds somewhere in the script what to reply and stuff. Of course, it can do video and images now, and it can do coding now and stuff. But yeah, I'm impressed with what it can do, but I kind of hate it. Because now everybody and their mother can just do, inputs and make some pictures or make some videos or make some music, and there's just so much fake shit on the internet. The internet is flooded with it, and nowadays you don't even know what's real, what's not real, what's made by a human, what's not, And I feel when it starts getting into games and movies and stuff like that, I feel the quality is really dropping. You can really, most times you can spot it when it's not a human who made it. That's a damn shame.
Yeah.
And then of course you also have the entire climate question about it. That's another thing, right? Like it uses insane amounts of electricity, and it uses insane amounts of water, which is kind of shit. It's polluting, and it's using all our water, and it's not helping our climate change situation. So I'm not super happy about that either. And then also that now hardware prices are just going up because these data centers, they are just RAM, storage, and like Nvidia, they are only doing AI thingies now. They are not doing consumer graphic cards anymore and stuff like that. So it's more shit than it's good, I feel.
At least for the time being.
For the time being, yeah. And it's also like if people use AI instead of learning the skills themselves to do graphics and music and coding and all that, I feel people will just get dumber.
Oh, that's that's not a question. That's a firm answer. People will get dumber.
Yeah, people will get dumber, and that's not good.
No,
it's definitely not good. I mean, even the kids in school, they are using it for exams now and stuff, and I'm like, come on, man. You don't learn anything from it. You just get a script to do it all for you, and it doesn't make you skilled.
Exactly.
I mean, in that way, the future looks kind of grim in my eyes.
Yeah, it does to me as well. But time will show. You never know.
Yeah, time will tell what happens.
Yeah. If you could go back in time and give your younger self one piece of advice, what would it be?
It would probably be go to art school earlier and don't waste your time on e-commerce and stuff like that, and just keep following your dreams, never give up.
Yeah,
that's probably it, because
good advice.
I wasted some years here and there with stuff that I didn't really care for, but I felt I had to do it to go to the goal, to the end goal I wanted to get at.
Yeah.
And looking back, it could have been done faster. So I could have been like where I am now. I could have been there for longer.
Yeah.
But it's a journey. It's not the goal, right? In life, they say.
Yeah, you learn from even bad mistakes.
Yeah. And in fairness, back then we didn't have internet, and it wasn't so easy to find information about, at least for us where we lived, it wasn't easy to find info about a school in a different place of the country and stuff. So
exactly, and the teachers weren't that great at telling you what you should do either. They just move on, the next one.
Yeah, exactly. It was different times back then. It really was.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, that should be about it. Thank you, Daniel, for taking the time.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, catch you later.
Yeah, see you, man.